2 years ago today, Keir Starmer became leader of the Labour Party, and what have we to show for it? He's decimated the party financially, with members leaving in disgust at his abstentionism, his government support, and his failure to stick to a single promise he ever made to get elected leader, not to mention unions disaffiliating and withdrawing funding. His war on the left of the party rages on, with more retrospective proscriptions of affiliated groups, and even now, after 2 years, so many people still don't even know who he is. Of those that do, they couldn't tell you what he stands for. When he gets interviewed on the news channels, he flounders and fails to put across alternatives to government action, which right now is seeing the biggest impacts on livelihoods going, as everyone suffers due to the cost of living. His answer is to tinker around the sidelines, to not be quite as nasty as the Tories, but not offer radical, meaningful differences either. A tiny windfall tax on energy companies isn't good enough when we want full renationalisation. Starmer himself said he wanted the same in his 10 leadership election pledges of 2 years ago, when we still have the receipts. Those 10 pledges are 10 examples of him lying to us, because he has broken every single one, some several times over. So to celebrate Keith making this milestone, I thought I'd lay out in no uncertain terms why I will never support Labour whilst he remains leader, and why the oft-used Starmeroid excuse of voting for him to get the Tories out, if you don't vote Labour, you're a Tory, is about as honest as BBC election coverage. I was a Labour member. I devoted time and effort to seeing a Labour government delivered. I was a Labour branch chair. I coordinated the 2019 election campaign across a big chunk of West Cornwall. I was for several years the CLP disability officer. I was a vocal online presence too, pushing the plans and policies to transform this country. But the character assassinations, the lies, the sabotage from within the party by other party members who didn't want to see a government run in our interests saw that campaign fail. They're now in charge of the party again. A campaign that would have renationalised energy and other privatised essential services, so people wouldn't now be choosing between starving or freezing. That would have delivered free broadband whilst we were all locked down during the pandemic. You see centrists calling for such things now, yet they joined in spurning the person who would have delivered these. Such is their hypocrisy. And whilst large numbers of people just like me were working to secure the most transformative Labour government since 1945, Labour MPs were quitting en masse, trying to bring their leader, the guy we supported, Jeremy Corbyn, down. One of the last to do so was Keir Starmer, joining in on the coattails of several others. Their little coup failed. We nearly won in 2017, though, and we scared the establishment to death. And if those running the party machine in Southside hadn't been wasting funds propping up right-wingers who were increasing their majorities anyway and concentrating on winning new seats, we could be nearing the end of a Corbyn-led 5-year term right now. It had a massive effect, and it undermined our efforts. Now, the party likes to pretend 2017 never happened, despite it being the first time since Blair's 97 landslide that Labour won seats. Come 2019, the party management were still hell-bent on preferring the Tories to a Corbyn-led Labour Party, and joined in on attacks accusing Corbyn of being a racist, despite him being a lifelong anti-racist, aided and abetted by the mainstream media, various groups sold as impartial, but really anything but, and of course all of those MPs again who wanted him out before, despite the success he had brought. They never had our interests at heart. They still don't. They never wanted anything but their own factional control of the party. And Starmer was also instrumental in seeing Labour fall in 2019, but for another reason entirely, decimating Labour's Brexit support by standing up and declaring Labour to be pro-Remain. He had more to do with Labour losing the Brexit voting red wall seats than anyone. And now, farcically, those who berate us for refusing to support him think he's the man to win them back, despite the subject of Brexit rarely crossing his lips anymore and rubbishing the idea of rejoining the EU. Well played, all of you FBPE people. By-elections have demonstrated that he's no vote winger, losing seats or holding them by his fingernails. His war on the left saw us walk away because Labour had once again become the party of the right. He lied about his left credentials to get elected, was propped up in that by useful idiots in the media, and now the choice we had before us previously had been cruelly snatched away. Labour now offers just watered-down versions of whatever the Tories are doing, sniping from the sidelines without offering anything meaningfully different, demanding schools reopen faster when they were closed to protect people, getting excited about the prospect of war, refusing to call for resignations for so long in every incompetent, corrupt Tory minister going, leaving we on the left, socialists, aghast at how weak he is. Keir Starmer is the sort of man who will commemorate Hillsborough and then write for The Sun, will appoint shadow ministers not on merit, but whether or not they supported Corbyn or not, and in Wes Streeting's case, proudly gloat about the fact on Question Time that he did not campaign for his own party whilst Corbyn led, the sort of behaviour that has seen ordinary lay members today expelled. Starmer will break the party rules to exclude Corbyn from the parliamentary party, but leave him in limbo as a party member, not even knowing to this day if he'll be able to run to keep his seat. He was, let's not forget, cleared of any anti-Semitic wrongdoing by a right-wing NEC panel. His situation is all on Starmer, and it offends so very many of us greatly. Starmer claims to have dealt with the anti-Semitism scourge within the party, yet the long-awaited Ford report into the party's handling of this issue, ordered by Starmer himself to be conducted, has been kicked into the long grass so many times and for so long, it's now right up there with Lord Lucan and Shergar in terms of will we ever see it. Under Starmer, Labour conference is no longer sovereign, except when it is in session. But afterwards, he will rubbish anything voted through that he doesn't like. Boycott, divestment and sanctions against apartheid Israel for one, except Starmer's Labour are as reliant on pro-Israel funding as the Tories are on Russian rubles. So that was hurriedly and anti-democratically ditched. The financial woes he has brought the party to are despite being left with a financial surplus of £13.5 million and being debt-free. That was what Corbyn at the head of a mass movement achieved. Small donations adding up, plus over 200 donations worth more than £10,000 apiece whilst he was leader. Plus, of course, all those increased membership fees he secured by growing the party to be the biggest in Europe. Starmer has wasted the lot, driven many of those members away, the small donations have evaporated, and he's brought the party to the edge of bankruptcy. Where big donors supported Corbyn because they supported his vision, with Starmer's, just 54 of them to date, you get the sense they are instead buying something, an investment to get something back in return. Desperate for donors if he doesn't get some soon, and there's no reason to think he will, charismatic as a digestive biscuit as he is, and with all the political nous of a turkey voting for Christmas, the party verges on going bust. You can't help but wonder if this is why he's so reluctant to declare policy measures that had hit corporations in case he might be able to get some funding from them rather than appeal to voters and put people first. 2 years of Starmer to go from millions in the bank to virtually nothing, redundancy after redundancy within the Labour Party itself, including the use of fire and rehire, to the point he's now begging members to do previously paid work for free. 2 years to go from a people-powered organisation to a people-pissed-off abandonment of anything meaningful. A leader who has pursued Tory votes instead of encouraging those who don't vote at all to have a reason to, as Corbyn did, enthusing and inspiring. Such is Starmer's hang-up with his far more credible predecessor. To do anything he did is completely anathema to him. Plus, when his strings are being pulled by the likes of Peter Mandelson, who Starmer resurrected from the crypt as an advisor, and also Tony Blair, who wants to advise the party again, the writing is on the wall for the direction Starmer is heading. And after this, all of this, there are some out there who would dare call people like me, left-wing socialists, disgusted at what Labour has become, Tories, for saying we wouldn't support such a man. A donor-seeking, right-wing paper-writing, left-member purging, racism weaponising, pledge-breaking, policy-absent right-wing liar who literally stole the party from beneath those of us who fought to get the Tories out and replaced them with something better. Labour under Starmer has now become the biggest obstacle to that, to the meaningful change we campaigned for years within the Labour Party and which centrists are shedding crocodile tears for now. If it has to fail and collapse for something better to replace it, then in my opinion, so be it. Until the Tories are removed from the supposed democratic socialist party of the working class, we can't remove the true blue Tories from power, because right now it really is a choice between two cheeks of the same establishment arse. If you're determined you have to vote for one or the other, it's not we who refuse to that are the Tories, it is you, because you're literally voting for which colour Tory you like best. It's Johnson or Johnson with a hairbrush. That's what 2 years of Starmer has achieved. A complete lack of political choice or vision, and as lives get harder and tempers fray, hope has gone, quite honestly. We desperately need that picture to change. Next month, he'll be judged on those last 2 years, following 12 years of Tory austerity, cruelty and hardship, following COVID mismanagement, a cost of living crisis, Partygate scandals and more. The Tories should be on their arse in the eyes of the public. This should be Starmer's opportunity. Right now, Labour should be in the ascendancy and a landslide should be on the cards, but it isn't though. It won't come to pass. Think on everything I pointed out here whilst I finish with this from the @tweet for the many Twitter account.
Jeremy Corbyn made our party the party of anti-austerity, and he was right to do so. The party that would fight cuts to public services. We should treat, if you like, the 2017 manifesto as our foundational document. The radicalism and the hope that that inspired across the country was real.
First of all, raise your hands if you're into scrapping tuition fees. That's everyone. Renationalising water and electricity.
Why they were doing it. Attacks on Jeremy Corbyn were terrible. They vilified him, and they knew what they were doing, and they knew why they were doing it.